like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that we can continue to bring content like this to beauty pageant lovers all over the world. And so I'd love to introduce our current reigning Miss Honduras, Izza Sevilla. So hi, Izza, how are you today?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I feel very excited, very grateful for this opportunity to speak to you through this media, and I feel so glad to be here with you right now. And it's just a pleasure to be here and just start.
Thank you, Isa. It is such a pleasure to be with you today. And so we'd love to get to know you better. And so could you tell us about your pageant journey, how you got involved, and what this process has meant to you?
Yes, I start pageants when I was 18 years old last year. I start here local in my hometown. There's a small pageant where I decided to join since I like always since I was a kid modeling, and I actually didn't know what it was until I started. My dad
Mhm,
told me what real pageant is, that it's not about just physical beauty but also the beauty inside of us that is
mhm.
projected in these medias. So that's the reason why I decided to join. And my first local um, pageant was here in Honduras. So this is my first time joining and winning a crown on here in Honduras, and that's the opportunity for me to becoming Miss World Honduras.
Wow, so this was your first time competing and you won the first time you competed. That's really amazing to hear.
Yes, yes, because I'm currently also the queen of my hometown, which we create like a fair in which we celebrate. Also, we have a big carnival and we
Mhm.
have a lot of festival activities, which is traditional. So I'm actually the queen of here. It's called La Ceiba from Honduras,
Uh-huh.
and I'm also part of it. So because of that crown, I became the opportunity to participate in a national here. So
Mhm.
that's the first time I participate, and I become Miss World Honduras.
Wow. We talked to quite a few beauty queens, and um, I think you're the first one that competed in their first pageant, won on a local level, and then competed in their first national pageant and then won. So it's really special to hear that you've you've not only kind of captured the heart of Honduras, but you've captured the heart of your hometown as well.
I think because God always set us the right moment.
Hmm.
Because of a friend of my mom who I got in, but he also told me when I was younger. But my mom didn't want to because I was a kid. I was very
Hmm.
young, and we always thought about it, and that idea was always in my head. I always was thinking where opportunity is going to come, but I think that God is the one that always gives us the perfect timing. So it was last year for me, and I got the opportunity, and I'm here.
Yeah, no, I think luck, timing, all those things play a role, and then of course your performance as well. And so, I guess like you know, being a first time contestant and a first time winner kind of shows who you are as a person. And so, we'd love to get to know because we know that Miss World is an advocacy driven organization, and so. When you entered, because you're still fairly young in your career or in your pageant journey, um, had you thought about an advocacy? Like what made you think, okay, I'm going to enter Miss World and I want this to be my advocacy? So I think my question is two parts. So what is your advocacy and why did you choose it for yourself?
Okay, so I also studying on a university, actually into
Hmm.
going for two university degrees, which the first one is engineering in logistic, and the second one is international business. Um,
Hmm.
the currently careers that I'm studying in the university, but I also work on teaching kids who are from unprivileged background, economical issues. They have they are in social risk. also kids with disabilities. And I had the opportunity because it was at a school near my house. And because of my current social level in which I needed to help my parents because we are from not a good economy too, I
Mhm.
started working here in this place where it showed me the value of education, how
Mhm.
important educate ourselves to create not just opportunities for the future, but to always have better knowledge how to defend ourselves in future generations. So being part as a tutor or teacher in this school give me the tools and skills and ideas for me to help children. So I started
Mhm.
working and I realized that I didn't just do it for my needs, but also because I started to love the environment I was in. So when we were choosing our project for Miss World, we decided to start with something that I already did, something that
Mhm.
we could know that we were going to create because this part of creating with our Beauty with a Purpose project is not just for competing, it's also something that we love to do. So when I realized I had different ideas with my director and with my team, but
Mhm.
the idea just popped on my head and I said, what about teaching? So we're starting looking for more ideas, but then I realized that I come also from um, not a good economy. So what about teaching kids that are in my community to read, to write, things that are basically a right for children, but they cannot
Mhm.
have economical issues. So the project developed here in my community where I decided to help children who couldn't go to a formal education due to limitations they had in their family, which is not their fault. We cannot
Mhm.
point on someone because the things that happen inside of their family is very personal. So we have to start learning not to judge but to create solutions. So because I grew in this place, I realized the need that very children had to not going to having a educations, having problems. So my Beauty with a Purpose project is called 1 to 3 Learning because
Mhm.
my future and what I would like to develop to Miss World is to have an impact on creating my own foundation, which is called 1 to 3 Learning. One is because of the opportunity that I'm giving the kids. Two is for the hope. And three is for using my voice for those who can use their own. So it is a project I'm doing with all my heart, and I've seen very importance on it because education is a fundamental part on each person's life. Having the opportunity to help just even though it's just my community, I realize that I'm shaping 10 kids' future. So for
Mhm.
me, it's a big impact and I'm working to create more impact in more children, hoping that one day my foundation works and I get the chance to help many children in Honduras and hopefully in other countries as well.
Mm. So I know you're still fairly young, but to hear that you've kind of tied your education with who you are and with your community to kind of build your advocacy. It's very honorable to hear, right? That I think a lot of us are like, we want to change the world somehow, and we all want to start so big. And to see that you looked at your own community and said, well, I can help them right here. You know, I don't have to change the world, but I can change my community and then hope that the world becomes better because of it is a very admirable thing to hear. And it ties so closely to who you are. Um, I think it's an advocacy that really speaks to who you are. So it's really great to hear that from you. Um, this kind of 1, 2, 3 approach that you're talking about. I think you said that the program right now has 10 kids. Is that correct?
Yes,
Do you plan on expanding it to other areas of Honduras, or are you more kind of in the building stages right now?
Actually, we don't have a building right now, so we're
Mhm.
working, but we already have plans. We have everything what it takes to create one. We're just waiting for the exact moment because there are also things that we're missing on. But I'm actually helping also in another school, which
Mhm.
are who have disabilities and they don't know how to write, how to read, or how to create a environment that is good for them for teaching, since we know that kids who are disabilities, they need a special treatment.
Mhm.
So I educate myself first before going to teach kids, because it's very important to educate myself before teaching. So
Mhm.
I'm helping this place, and we're working on either helping my kids from my community to go to this school, or we're looking on how to create a foundation just for kids who don't know how to write and read because of their limitations.
Mhm.
People go to a formal education.
Mhm.
The thing that these kids who have disabilities, um, they have the place, they have the school, they have teachers. It is a school, it is informal education.
Mhm.
So the difference is that kids from my community, they don't have that. So thanks to my family who have helped me and my friends, we have bought a lot of materials that help me to teach them. And I also like to read. I also like to search on information that is verified for me to help them. Because for me, the important things is to help them develop skills that can create a better future for them, how they
Mhm.
can look for opportunities based on what I teach them. So I don't have a place where we teach. We actually go to a beach who is
Mm.
near our house, because we live in La Ceiba is is a place, is a city where it's very tropical. It has rivers, mountains, and we have a beach near. So I go to this beach near my house, which also is near the children's parents' house. So they all go together and they are looking what I'm teaching. They're there for support. So I go here with the children and I show them how to read, how to teach. We have different activities such as playing also. So it's a very nice place, even though we don't have a structure. But the thing is that looking at them that they assist is meaningful for me, because they're looking for opportunities. They're not restraining themselves to not to have a better future.
Mhm. Yeah, you're I think oftentimes we, at least in the United States, we're very lucky to have, institutions of learning. But I think when you talk about, what it means to kind of reach out to these kids that don't necessarily have a formal education or don't have the tools to do it, and you're making do with what's available, I think that's very admirable because this idea that, well, let's just go to the beach and learn and grow together and, build our opportunities together. That speaks to the kind of resilience that I see in you and these kids that you're teaching. So, and also the idea that you're learning as well, right? That you're learning how to teach kids with disabilities and how they learn, and in many ways, it's kind of this reciprocal relationship that you have, where you grow alongside these kids as much as they grow, as much as they grow alongside you. So very admirable. And so, I think the advocacy piece really speaks again um, to something beyond yourself, and that's exactly what Miss World looks for in their contestants. So very cool there. We'd want to also kind of speak about your experience with Miss World as well. Have you had a chance to meet other contestants, and what has that experience been like for you?
Well, I don't have the chance to physical meet them, have
Hmm.
a chat where we share together our stories. We talked already about our history, about our projects, and we
Mhm.
like to to each other because we know that Miss World is also known this sisterhood. So I speak to actually Athena is one of the girls that I most. She's so nice. She's a friend of mine. I also have the opportunity to talk to Miss World Wales,
Mhm.
also African contestants. So for me, it's very special because I'm talking with women who also have that importance in their life to create a positive impact on the world. So having the opportunity to talk to different girls with different ideas, different goals in life can also help me as a person because we can learn different things from each other. And having this opportunity is great because I know they can learn a lot from me. So the way I can also learn a lot about them.
Mm. And we Miss Athena was our first interviewer on our channel, and so we know how great Athena is, and how kind she is, and so it's great to hear. Are there any? I know you spoke on Miss Athena. You spoke on Athena, and you've spoken on Miss Wills. Is there any Miss World contestant, past or present, that you look up to right now that you're like, okay, I want to mirror you know, what I do with this crown if I win it in the future?
Yes, if I get the chance to win, I actually look always up to myself because the greatest person I can look is how far I can go as a person. So I like to educate myself. I like to improve myself always. I know that I'm not perfect, and that is what makes me unique. That's what makes me different. So I have to always look how to be better because every day we have the chance, thanks to God, to wake up and have decisions that can change ourselves. So if I get the chance to be the next Miss World, I will always look on myself as the person I am right now
Mhm,
because my goals will never change.
mhm,
My objectives will never change because this using this platform is for being the voice of many persons around the world. So having the opportunity will be for me create my foundation, which I will help many kids and many generations around the world.
mhm.
Also be part of many social projects that can create an impact that we are all looking for because the world is in constant change. So we have to start looking for solutions, not creating problems. So that is one of the things that I would love to do once I start, if I get the chance to win this world.
Oh, that sounds great. There's a lot of confidence in the way you speak, and so I believe you. So thank you so much, Isa, for we're getting to know you better. We see your advocacy and how it connects to you as a person, and your kind of Miss World journey. And so we'll move on to our next part. And so this next part we call our yes, no, maybe part, right? And we'll ask you some questions, and you can only answer with yes, no, or maybe. And then at the end, we'll choose 2, 3 questions that we would love to hear extra context on. So, a further explanation of why you chose yes, no, or maybe. So, are you ready?
Okay, great. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, do you believe your advocacy can impact lives beyond your home country?
Yes.
Do you think the Miss World organization should only accept contestants with a college degree?
No.
Would you continue your advocacy even if you didn't win Miss World?
Yes.
Do you do you think beauty pageants still face outdated stereotypes?
No.
Has your journey taught you more about yourself than you expected?
Yes.
Would you ever challenge a rule or tradition within pageantry if it felt unjust to you?
Yes.
Do you believe your story represents the voice of many young women in Honduras?
Yes.
Have you personally faced criticisms for choosing the pageant path?
Yes.
Would you exchange fame for true influence in your advocacy work?
No.
Do you believe education is the most important tool for change?
Yes.
Do you think joining beauty pageants can be very expensive?
No.
Would you consider public service or government work after pageantry?
I apologize. I received a call and I had to cancel. Can you repeat the question, please?
No worries, no worries. So the question is, would you consider public service or government work after pageantry?
Hmm. I have to choose one or respond yes or no.
Yes, no, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Do you feel pressure to be perfect while holding the crown?
No.
Do you think the Miss World organization should require mental health screenings?
Maybe.
Do you believe every queen should have a long term plan for her platform?
No.
Have you ever been underestimated because of your looks or title?
Yes.
Would you mentor girls who want to follow in your footsteps?
Yes.
Do you think your advocacy will still matter 10 years from now?
Yes.
Have you ever felt alone in your journey as a beauty queen with purpose?
No.
No. Should the Miss World organization accept married women and or mothers?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So those are our questions. I think you did great. So I'll choose, I think, two or three questions that I'd love to have some extra color on. And so I think one of the questions, well, I'd love to hear this question. So you answered yes to this question. So do you believe your story represents the voice of many young women in Honduras? So you said yes. And can you explain why?
That's because I think around the world, Honduras sometimes has been seen through the eye of poverty, which
Hmm.
is right. But I believe that this will not and never represent who we are as a person, because Hondurans are also known as hardworking people. We always try um, to upgrade ourselves and never feel comfortable in the way we are living. So that makes me a representation of all Hondurans here. So I will say yes, because many also children, young persons, young um, girls, boys, and not only about my age but also different ages, we develop economical limitations. We fight always to try to look for new opportunities, and that is what makes me the voice of my country. So I can say yes, because I'm also not just right now, but since all my life, my parents have shown me the hard work that they have done through many years, and seeing that in them in my country makes me realize that I also do the same in
Hmm.
different ways. So that is what makes me the voice of my country.
Yeah, it sounds like you you are the voice. It sounds like you are the voice. It sounds like um, the kind of stereotypes that your country faces and the things that it needs to kind of step on the world stage. So I can see that. I can definitely see you representing the voice of many young, I mean, people in Honduras, not just the women, but people in Honduras. All right. So, our next question that I'd love to hear more about. You said yes here too. So, do you think your advocacy will matter 10 years from now? And 10 years is a long way off, but you said yes to this question. So, how and why will your advocacy matter in 10 years?
I believe that in 10 years I will have my foundation. established already and helping a lot of kids. And of course, it would matter because education is one of the important tools in life. Anytime we educate ourselves in different way, it doesn't have to be academic, but also in values, in in values, in also how we teach other children how to react on problems. So basically, because of this, I believe that it will always matter 10 years and more because um, besides educating children academically, we will also love to receive kids who are in social risk and they don't
Mhm.
have a home, they don't have a place, help families along our country creating creating projects that can help them economical, how they can have necessaries like their basic needs such as food, um, healthcare, also provide them solutions to try to fight that they always do every day. So I believe that it will always matter 10 years from now.
Mhm. I can see the vision because I know you talked about, helping kids that don't have access to education and helping kids that are um, have special needs. And now you're talking about kids that are at social risk as well. And so I can see that vision in you that 10 years from now, it's going to be an organization that kind of helps all children get an education, no matter, their background. So that's really cool to hear. That's really cool to hear that you have this very long-term vision. So right now it's at the beach. Maybe 10 years from now, it's in a proper building, school, well-funded, with all the support services that you need. So fingers crossed. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think our final question. I think here you also said yes here. So lots of yeses, but um, I think it'll help to get. I think it'll help us to get to know you better, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know you. And so, we'd love to know, or I'd love to know, have you personally faced criticism for choosing the pageant path, right? And you said yes, and so how did you face it? And how do you kind of overcome that type of criticism that I'm sure you still face on your journey? So,
Yes, so criticism, I actually don't like to look for it on my social media. If I'm being honest, I don't like to answer any text message like this or look at comments. I don't because I believe in the person I am. I know that I'm working every day hard and so many other women have faced this and what really matters is the way I feel about myself. And for me, it
mhm,
always this way. I am a woman who has very strong ideas, who believes in herself, and I
mhm,
always work hard on creating new things for me as a person who can help me to be better because like I said before, I know I'm not perfect, but every day I can help on being someone who is better, someone who wasn't like 5 years ago. So criticism for me is not important because I know the type of person I am, and what matters to me is how I project on others person's life. And I always believe that the way you criticize other women or other people is the way you are. So I will never be this way. And I
mhm,
know that criticism comes from many many persons, and I don't like to judge them as well, but I think we should stop criticizing on people because we don't know their story. We don't know
mhm,
what come true all the way. I know that here in pageants, many people like to point on the representative of the country, but instead of judging, what about creating ideas or providing things that they can actually help them? So
mhm,
that's the way I think about criticism and the way that I have faced it because they also judge me because I'm a young person. They say you're 19 years old, you don't know what life is. But I think that the experience that I have lived already as a 19-year old person has shown me the importance of different things in life. such as creating things that can create an impact in my country and helping other countries as well. Because even though my actions may not help other kids from different countries, it can create an impact on persons who can see the project and create one in their country. So it's not about me, it's about how we can help each other. So
Mhm.
criticism for me, that's the way I always felt and faced it in my journey as a queen.
Yeah, yeah, I can see the kind of like public scrutiny that a lot of, beauty pageant contestants face because I don't think they get to know this side of, who you all are as people. And we at Contesera Pageantry have been so lucky to hear your story, to hear your advocacy, to hear your passion through all of this. And I will say we're glad that you answered our message for an interview. So we're so glad that you didn't ignore our message, and to kind of hear that, you know, that you're so self-assured at such a young age, as you say. It's something really special. So thank you. So thank you for answering our quick fire. Yes, no, maybe. I think you did a great job. And so we'll move on to our next section, and the Q&A section, as I've said many times before, is my favorite section, and it's a way to further our understanding of who you are as a person. I feel like with these questions, we get to see how quick on your feet you can be. And so, with saying that, how do you prepare for the Q&A section? What's your process like?
Well, I like to always do a research on how they ask, what they ask, truly in pages. But I think that at the very moment, you never get to answer if you studied before. It's always in your heart, in your mind. So the best way you can answer is by who you truly are and what are your thoughts on answering the question. So for me, it's very easy because I always been a transparent person. I like to always be the person who I am. Um, Beneath camera, so the same person you're looking right now is the same person who is on in every place, in everywhere. So the way I like to answer is on first hearing the question, thinking, because we know that at the moment we get nervous, of course,
Mhm,
because it is normal on human beings because we are confronting something that we didn't know. So feeling nervous is always part of the process, but I always like to hear the question, think, and try my best answering. That's the
okay.
way I do it.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope you're not too nervous because we have some questions here for you. So, I don't know if our viewers have seen this before. So this is these are some questions that we've pulled from Miss World 2021, and it was held in Puerto Rico. So these were questions asked for the top 6 contestants. All right. And so if you were here in person with us, you'd pick out a question and it'd be a little bit more fanfare. But since you're not here in person with us, I'll pick the questions out. And you'll have 30 seconds to answer the question. So however you want to time it in your head. I have my producer here with me, and he has a 30-second timer as well. But, it's not the real thing. So we hope you aren't too nervous through the process. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I trust you. I know that for me.
Amazing. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So our first question this was a question asked for Northern Ireland. And this question is, so Nelson Mandela said that Miss World was the most important event in the world for empowering young people to be of service to their communities. How has Miss World empowered you?
Miss World has empowered me to show how many women have changed the world because of the impact they create inside of this organization, helping on many social projects that can create that impact that we're all looking for future generations. So that is the way I think that Miss World have provide the opportunity to many women to show who they really are and their projects to change the world.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah. Okay. That was in the 30-second time limit. And that was a great answer. Absolutely. I agree with you. Okay. All right. So our second question was asked for Miss Mexico. Okay. So, what would you say to the future generations about protecting the planet?
I will say that for future generations to protect the planet, it is important to think about the environment that we live, that we have to take care of what we have and not to destroy them. Because we never know when is the last time that we can have this, since we are growing every day and creating things that also affect this environment. So protecting it, we not only protecting our environment, but we also protect us in the future.
Yeah, amazing. If you can hear the alarm, that was right within 30 seconds. And I think it's a great way to frame it because the way that your advocacy works is you've talked about that 10 years in the future and that kind of protecting and shepherding our children and having a resources for them in the future. And so I think that ties in very nicely. Okay. All right. So our final question, let's stir the pot a little bit. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. So this was asked for Miss Poland, and she was the winner for Miss World 2021. So her winning question was, what is the most important discovery yet to be discovered?
The most important discovery yet to be discovered is inside of us. The way we discover ourselves in the journey that we are every day on this project called life, it was makes us as a person. So discovering different things for ourselves help us to know each other and create what is the purpose in us in this life. So this is the moment we should start creating things that can help not just in the present but also in the future to create the impact and the purpose we are here living, to help many children, to help many persons, and that is what I think is yet to discover our purpose in this challenge called life.
Okay. A little over time, but I think it was a great answer regardless. I think it was a great answer regardless, right? The idea that we're all still growing and we're all still developing. We're all still trying to find ourselves through this journey of life. I think speaks well to the process of becoming who you want to be. And so, very cool to hear. Very cool to hear. Okay, all right. So that was our Q&A section. So we'll move on to this is kind of our last section. And so we want to ask you, for anyone wanting to follow in your footsteps, what advice do you have for them?
I will definitely say that always follow your heart, listen to yourself, because before actually being on beauty pageants, my dad, I always received his support, but the thing is that here in Honduras, we face many challenges, and one of them is being scared of the thing that we don't know, that it's unknown. So sometimes we are not realizing that we're miss a lot because of we're scared on moving on or being in a place we don't know. So I will say that I will definitely tell them to listen to yourselves. Before, this is something personal, but I would love to share this because many girls will maybe have this problem as well or face this through this moment. So, before becoming a beauty queen or being part of beauty pageants, my parents were not like agreed on the term of me coming to these platforms and all of that because we were, like I said before, we have really economical limitations that didn't give us the opportunity to pay a lot of things. You asked me if it was
Mm,
um very like to pay a lot if it has to manage a lot of money, and I know that it does. But when you have the importance of having the opportunity to try new things, can you it helps you to realize that you can do it if you have the right persons in your path. Like I said, my parents agreed because this became a unity with all of my family. They started
Mm,
projects that can help me cost many things. My director also helped me a lot with economical things, and people around me started helping. And this is the moment I realized that when you try to chase your dreams or your goals, you have to look for ideas or solutions that can help you. It's not about saying no or not trying to reach that goal in your life. So always try new things, because I always have heard the word no too, but I always tried and tried until I reached, because I feel that I am someone who is very resilient, and I will never stop to my goals or to my objectives in life, because I cannot do it. I always say that I can always can, as long as my heart is in here too, in my
mm,
mind. As long as I set my mind and my heart to achieve something, I will always do. So I have learned a lot to this journey. Pages have shown me what true beauty is, and it starts in yourself. And the way that you feel about yourself projects out of yourself as a person. So that is
mm,
something I would like to share to future women who like to start their journey on beauty pages. That you have to listen to your heart, listen to your mind. I know that they face a lot of different things, maybe not as well as mine, but as long as you try the best to achieve the goal, it's better to say I tried than better I didn't do it.
mhm.
So always try to reach what you want in your life, because we never know how much time we have left here.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think you speak on something really important that a lot of the times when we want to achieve something or we want to go towards something, there's a lot of fear, right? From your family, from your friends, from yourself. But if you really want something, like you do, like you wanted this, then everyone kind of comes together and supports you, and your community really uplifts you, right? Like your parents, your friends, and I think that really speaks also to it ties to your advocacy as well because you looked the community supported you and you looked at your community for your advocacy, right? So it ties into this kind of way that how important community is, for yourself and for areas that may not be as economically developed, that you have to rely on each other to build something great. So really great to hear that.
I would also like to share that this project was born out of the heart of everyone, because Um, the way that I started on selecting the children was because I found one of the mothers of the kids near my house walking. So we 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 were together walking like beneath each other. So I stopped and I asked her, I'm in this platform which helps me to create a project, but I always thought about helping my community. What can I do to have children, because I didn't know where to go, since the place where I live is like 3 minutes in the place where she lives,
Mhm,
but neighbors are grown up persons. They don't have kids, so I was thinking, where should I go? And I I was walking, and when I stopped, I told her, because I know her for years, but I didn't know who she really was. And she told me, "Oh, I have kids. I also have neighbors who will also love to join, because we're facing this. We don't have how to we don't know how to pay for our children to have a education, and I know that this is a problem not only in the community but around the country. So I talked to her about my idea, and she helped me. And when I remember when I was going to my house, I went home and I told my mom, "Mom, I talked to our neighbor and I tell her about the project, and she said that she would love to join." And she told me, "Who is she?" And I told her, "Mom, it was a woman who used to sell fish because here we are in the South Coast.
Hmm.
So women go to sell fish on the streets, and this is how they help to create financial money for them." So I told her, "Is the one who goes to sell fish on the streets?" And she told me, "Oh, I gave her class actually." And when we were starting the project, we realized that the kids that my mom helped who didn't know how to write and read are
Hmm.
the parents of the children that I'm going to teach.
Oh.
My mom was working on this project, but they had the plays, and my mom did it because first because of she saw the importance of teaching, and she always wanted to be a teacher, but
Hmm.
she didn't know how to start because her parent had a hard time on money too. So they couldn't provide to my mom education to go into a university and do this and this and to create her degree on teaching. So she went to a government who provide the tools and skills to learn, and that is the way that she went to this place where she used to teach parents who couldn't read and write because they had kids. So now
Hmm.
the kids of the persons my mom helped. So it is so nice how everything just connects, and I
Hmm.
think something with our hearts, everything just comes and God helps us to put the right persons on our path as well. So I feel very confident on projecting my project to Miss World, either I won or not. I know that it is a project not just for me, but also for my community, and helping many children helps me to realize that importance of education and love and projecting ourselves as a person is. So having the opportunity to go to Miss World to share my ideas, I know that I will learn a lot from Mrs. Morley as well. So it is just something that I think that God puts me in the right moment, because either I want or not, I will continue with my project.
Thank you. That's a really again, like, it connects to everything, right? The idea of community, of uplifting, of being a part of, your community and looking where you are to help. I think all that's really important, especially when I think, as you've been saying, that these countries that kind of face economic hardships, they have to rely on one another. And what better way to represent the resilience of your country than to have an advocacy that ties your community together? So it's not just you on the stage, right? It's your friends, it's your families, it's everyone that's helped you get here so far. So that is, yeah, that's something really special. That's something really special. So thank you, Isa, for sharing, who you are, your advocacy with us. Before we let you go, is there anything that you'd love to say, to our Contesera pageant fans? So, speak directly to them, share your social media, anything else you'd love to kind of share with them.
Yes, I would love to share a message, like a motto that has been in my heart and in my mind since I started working on believing in myself and the things I do as a person, which is work hard until you achieve your goals. This motto is what motivates me every day to try new things and try my best um, to challenge these things in life. So always listen to your heart. Like I said before, try to achieve your goals, try to achieve everything you like to accomplish, because we don't know where or when is our last moment here in this whole journey with its life. So always try their best, try to help people. Let's start looking for solutions, not just pointing out our problems. And my social medias, where you can also let know about me as well in my journey to Miss World. You can find me as Izza Sevilla in TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and any other social media as well.
Thank you, Isa. And thank you to everyone who has enjoyed our content so far. So, again, I'm Ace with Contesera Pageantry. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so we can continue to share stories like Izza's with all of you. So, with all my love, this has been Ace. We hope to see you all again. Thank you so much. Okay. I think I stopped recording. Um, Thank you so much. That was such, I have to say, hearing your story, um, it's really touching because I'm originally from Vietnam, and we grew up the same way. We moved to the United States, when I was 6 years old, but we were part of like a